Hi, my name's Rachel and I work for Bristol Noise. Back at the start of this year, we were busy planning for the Noise Weekend. This is an event held each year where up to 1,000 Christians from different churches around the city come together to take part in volunteering and social action to show God's love in practical ways to different neighbourhoods around the city. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit the UK and our country went into lockdown, obviously our plans for that had to be put on hold. But instead, we've been redirecting our resources to consider how churches and Christians across the city could be best supporting others during this crisis. Our mission of showing God's love in practical ways has never been simply a tagline for one weekend a year, and it's just been amazing to journey alongside other Christians across the city to respond to emerging requests for help. So what have we seen? Well, we've seen 3 churches partner with food banks in the city to set up emergency food banks in their neighbourhood to ensure that those who are struggling financially are still able to access both food and connect into the support needed to improve their financial situation. And in this season where there's been a real concern about the food supply to food banks, as less people have been able to visit shops and more people have been economically unstable, we've seen churches overwhelmingly give to the Bristol Churches City Fund, which has enabled food banks to bulk purchase food on a regular basis. We've signposted hundreds of individuals who've signed up to share their time and their skills with organisations working right across the city in response to the pandemic. And we've guided churches in ways that they can partner with what's already happening in their neighbourhood, rather than setting up new things which just duplicates the work of others. We've seen churches think creatively in how they can connect with those who've been stuck at home, with 4 churches around the city setting up telephone befriending support to offer company and a listening ear to those who are feeling lonely and struggling with isolation in this time. And I just love how we've seen Christians and churches open up their hands to offer their time and resources with no expectation of return. We've seen new partnerships formed as churches seek to respond to the emerging challenges of this season together with others rather than individually. And we've seen how showing God's love in practical ways doesn't have to wait for one weekend to do it together, but also that doing it together is inspiring, and that by pooling our resources, we can have greater impact than when we go it alone.